Welcome back to the show, everyone. Today, we're diving into the numbers from Mastech Limited. They position themselves as a trusted AI first, digital engineering, and cloud transformation partner.
That's right. Mastech operates globally with a presence in over 40 countries and a workforce of just over 5,000 employees. They partner with some big names like Oracle, Salesforce, Microsoft, AWS, Snowflake, and Databricks, serving key sectors including public sector, healthcare, retail, manufacturing, higher education, and financial services. They also have quite a few subsidiaries under their umbrella, like Mastech Enterprise Solutions, Mastech UK, Mastech Inc., Biznalytica, and several others across different regions.
Sounds like a significant player in the digital transformation space. So, what results are we looking at today?
We've got their audited financial results for the fourth quarter and the full financial year ended March 31, 2025. These were approved by the Board of Directors on April 18, 2025. Importantly, we have both the consolidated figures, which include all subsidiaries, and the standalone figures for Mastech Limited itself.
Great. Having both consolidated and standalone gives us a fuller picture. Let's jump into the key financials. How did they perform in Q4 and the full year on the consolidated front?
Okay, starting with consolidated results for Q4 FY25. Revenue from operations came in at 905.4 crore rupees. That's a solid increase of 16.1% year-over-year, compared to 779.7 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. In US dollar terms, that's $104.6 million, up 11.6% year-over-year.
A strong top-line growth for the quarter. How did that translate to the bottom line?
Here's where it gets interesting. Consolidated profit after tax or PAT for Q4 FY25 was 81.1 crore rupees. This is actually down 14.1% compared to 94.4 crore rupees in the same quarter last year. So revenue up, but profit down in Q4 year-over-year.
Okay. What about the full financial year FY25 on the consolidated basis?
For the full year FY25, consolidated revenue from operations was 3,455.2 crore rupees, which is up 13.1% from 3,054.8 crore rupees in FY24. Consolidated PAT for FY25 showed strong growth, coming in at 375.9 crore rupees, up 20.9% year-over-year from 311.0 crore rupees.
So a dip in Q4 PAT year-over-year, but strong PAT growth for the full year on the consolidated side. Now what about the standalone results for Mastech Limited itself? Any major differences? And I see a note about restatement for standalone figures.
Yes, good catch on the restatement. The standalone results for the previous year, FY24, have been restated due to the amalgamation of a wholly owned subsidiary, Metasoft Tech Systems Private Limited, effective from April 1, 2023. This is a procedural adjustment for common control combinations. Looking at the standalone Q4 FY25 results, revenue from operations was 125.5 crore rupees compared to the restated 116.7 crore rupees last year. Standalone PAT for Q4 was 43.6 crore rupees, up from the restated 39.1 crore rupees year-over-year.
And the full year standalone performance?
For the full year FY25, standalone revenue was 486.3 crore rupees compared to the restated 434.2 crore rupees in FY24. Standalone PAT was 120.6 crore rupees, which is almost flat compared to the restated 120.2 crore rupees last year.
Okay, so standalone PAT was flat for the year, while consolidated grew significantly. That suggests the subsidiaries played a big role in the overall profit growth. What about profitability metrics like EBITDA or PBT?
Right, let's look at consolidated first. For Q4 FY25, operating EBITDA was 138.8 crore rupees, up 10.9% year-over-year. However, the EBITDA margin dipped slightly to 15.3% from 16.0% in Q4 last year. For the full year FY25, consolidated operating EBITDA was 546.5 crore rupees, up 7.4% year-over-year, with a margin of 15.8%, slightly down from 16.7% in FY24. Consolidated profit before tax, PBT for Q4 was 105.9 crore rupees, up 12.9% year-over-year, and for FY25, it was 459.2 crore rupees, up 18.9% year-over-year.
And on the standalone side?
The standalone results give us PBT. For Q4 FY25, standalone PBT was 49.0 crore rupees compared to a restated 39.7 crore rupees last year. For the full year FY25, standalone PBT was 139.4 crore rupees, up from a restated 127.1 crore rupees. If we look at standalone PAT margin for FY25, it's around 24.8%, 120.6 crore divided by 486.3 crore, which is quite a bit higher than the consolidated PAT margin of 10.8%.
Wow, that standalone margin is significantly higher. It reinforces the idea that the subsidiaries, perhaps recent acquisitions, might have lower margins currently, impacting the consolidated average. How about earnings per share?
Consolidated diluted earnings per share or EPS for Q4 FY25 was 26.0 rupees, down from 29.7 rupees last year. But for the full year FY25 it was 120.7 rupees, a healthy increase from 97.3 rupees in FY24. On the standalone side, diluted EPS for FY25 was 38.7 rupees, slightly down from the restated 38.9 rupees last year.
Got it. Any significant other income impacting these numbers?
Yes, on the consolidated side, other income for Q4 was 3.6 crore rupees, down year-over-year, and for the full year, it was 22.3 crore rupees, up year-over-year. Standalone other income was 3.3 crore rupees for Q4 and 13.2 crore rupees for the full year. Not massively significant compared to operating revenue, but a contributor.
Were there any large exceptional items affecting the reported profits?
Yes, on the consolidated side, there were exceptional items. In Q4 FY25, there was an exceptional loss of 8.1 crore rupees. However, for the full year FY25, there was an exceptional gain of 7.6 crore rupees. Note 4 in the consolidated results details these. They relate to things like impairment of goodwill, customer relationships, contingent consideration reversals related to acquisitions, reversal of excess liabilities, and expected credit loss provisions on unbilled revenue, particularly in the AMEA region. The press release does mention a normalized PAT figure for Q4, adjusting for these items, showing a slight quarter-over-quarter increase. The standalone statement doesn't show exceptional items in the main P&L.
Okay, that context on exceptional items is useful. Let's touch upon the balance sheet briefly. Any key highlights from the consolidated perspective?
Looking at the consolidated balance sheet as of March 31st, 2025. Cash and cash equivalents look strong at 622.2 crore rupees, up significantly from 473.3 crore rupees the previous year. Goodwill is substantial at 1,625 crore rupees, likely reflecting past acquisitions like Evosys and Biz Analytica. Total equity stands at 2,462 crore rupees. Total borrowings, current plus non-current, are around 555 crore rupees.
And how does the standalone balance sheet compare?
The standalone balance sheet shows total equity of 912 crore rupees and much lower total borrowings of around 31 crore rupees. This indicates the parent company itself is much less leveraged compared to the consolidated entity.
What about cash flows and dividends?
The consolidated cash flow statement shows net cash generated from operating activities for FY25 was 395 crore rupees, slightly down from 420 crore rupees last year. Net cash used in investing activities was 275 crore rupees, largely driven by acquisitions, like Biz Analytica mentioned in Note 8, and purchase of investments. Net cash used in financing activities was 57 crore rupees, mainly due to dividend payments. On that note, the board has recommended a final dividend of 16 rupees per share, which is 320% on the face value. This takes the total dividend for FY25 to 23 rupees per share, or 460%.
That's a solid dividend payout. Now let's get into the segment performance, which often tells a richer story. How does Mastek look geographically on the consolidated basis?
Geographically, the UK and Europe region is the powerhouse. In Q4 FY25, it contributed nearly 60%, 59.7% of consolidated revenue, and for the full year, it was 57.3%. The US contributed 26% in Q4 and 27% for the full year. AMEA, that's Asia, Middle East, Africa, made up the rest, around 14 to 16%. In terms of profitability, profit before interest and tax, PBIT UK and Europe generated 87.5 crore rupees in Q4 and 392 crore rupees for the full year, significantly outweighing North America, 30 crore rupees Q4, 83 crore rupees for the full year, and AMEA, 12 crore rupees Q4, 35 crore rupees for the full year.
So heavily reliant on the UK and Europe. What about industry verticals?
Government and education is the largest vertical, bringing in around 40% of revenue in FY25. Health and life sciences is next, contributing about 20%. Then you have retail, consumer, manufacturing and technology, and financial services, each contributing between 12 to 14%. The press release highlighted strong quarter-over-quarter growth of 13.1% in US dollar terms for the healthcare vertical in Q4.
And the service lines? Where's the focus?
Digital and application engineering is the biggest service line, accounting for about 47.5% of revenue in Q4 and 46.5% for the full year. Oracle Cloud and Enterprise Apps is next at around 30%. Digital commerce and experience is about 12 to 13%, and data, automation and AI, while the smallest at around 9 to 10%, is likely a key growth area given their AI-first positioning.
Okay, putting it all together, how would you summarize the performance?
Consolidated performance shows strong year-over-year revenue growth for both Q4 and the full year. Full-year PAT growth was also robust. However, the Q4 PAT dip year-over-year, despite revenue growth and the slight compression in consolidated EBITDA margins, suggests some potential cost pressures or integration effects from acquisitions during the year. The standalone business showed moderate revenue growth but flat PAT growth for the full year, though its intrinsic margins appear much higher. The UK-Europe region and the government healthcare verticals remain critical drivers.
What other significant updates came out of the press release or investor presentation?
Key highlights include a strong 12-month order backlog of 2,291 crore rupees, reflecting a 7.1% quarter-over-quarter growth. They added 11 new clients in Q4. Employee count dipped slightly to 5,058, but last 12 months attrition improved to 19.3% from 20.1% in Q3. They spotlighted several key wins across geographies and verticals. There's a clear strategic push on AI with their Adopt AI platform and an AI engineering center of excellence, with significant workforce upskilling underway. CEO Umang Nahata expressed pleasure with the steady performance and strong annual growth, but acknowledged persistent macroeconomic uncertainties.
Any crucial notes from the detailed financial statements we should be aware of?
We've touched on a few. The standalone restatement Note 3, due to the amalgamation, is important context for comparing standalone figures. Note 9 in both reports explains the impact of opting for the new income tax regime, Section 115 BAA, and the earlier closure of a bilateral advance pricing arrangement, BAPA, leading to reversals and remeasurements of deferred tax assets and liabilities. Consolidated Note 4 details those exceptional items, and Note 8 gives context on the BizAnalytica acquisition completed in August 2023. Note 6 confirms the final Evosys CCPS conversion, completing that acquisition's non-controlling interest buyout.
Now for a critical check, the auditor's report. Any red flags or qualifications from Walker Chandiok and County LLP?
This is always crucial. For Mastek, the auditors issued an unmodified opinion on both the consolidated and the standalone financial results for the year ended March 31, 2025. This means they found the financial statements give a true and fair view in accordance with accounting standards.
Unmodified is good news. Any emphasis of matter or other matters mentioned?
Yes. On the standalone report, there's an emphasis of matter paragraph drawing attention to Note 3 regarding the restatement due to the amalgamation, which is standard practice in such cases. On the consolidated report, there's an other matter paragraph stating that the auditors did not audit the financial information of one subsidiary whose results reflect total assets, revenues, and profits that aren't insignificant. Around 306 crore rupees in revenue and 7.8 crore rupees in PAT for FY25. The opinion on the consolidated results in relation to this subsidiary is based solely on the report of the other auditors. This is also quite common in consolidated audits, but worth noting the reliance. There were no qualifications or adverse opinions.
Okay, so clean opinions overall, with the standard procedural notes for restatement and reliance on other auditors for a subsidiary. Good to know. So wrapping up, what's the outlook and what are the potential risks?
Okay, so this is just our analysis of the results, and listeners should consult with certified financial advisors before making any investment decisions. The outlook seems cautiously optimistic. The strong order backlog provides good revenue visibility. Mastek's focus on high-growth areas like cloud data and particularly AI with their Adopt.AI suite positions them well. Continued momentum in the UK public sector and healthcare is positive. However, risks remain. Macroeconomic uncertainty could impact client spending. Integrating recent acquisitions like BizAnalytica smoothly is key. There's significant geographic concentration risk with the heavy reliance on the UK and Europe market. And while attrition is improving, retaining talent in the competitive IT sector is always a challenge. Managing margins amidst potential cost pressures will also be important.
Excellent breakdown. So to summarize, Mastek delivered strong consolidated revenue and full-year profit growth in FY25, driven by its core UK-Europe market, though Q4 consolidated profit dipped year-over-year. The standalone business remains profitable with high margins but showed flat PAT growth for the year. The company has a healthy order book, is investing heavily in AI, and returning cash to shareholders via dividends. Importantly, the auditors gave clean, unmodified opinions on both sets of results.
That covers it well. Solid performance overall for the year, particularly on the consolidated growth front, but with nuances in quarterly performance and the standalone picture. The focus on AI and the strength of the UK business are key things to watch moving forward, alongside margin management and macro factors.
Thanks for walking us through that complex set of results.
My pleasure.